Welcome back to Econ class. Today we are going to be looking at the difference between normative and positive statements, as well as differentiating between efficiency and equality. In case you didn't check out the previous video, please do that. It's kind of the introductory video in this series, talking about the definition of economics, what scarcity is and its role in economics, and the importance of the optimizing individual. Today's objectives are to identify the two roles that economists play, to differentiate between normative and positive statements, and also to differentiate between efficiency and equality, and kind of the indicators involved with those. All right, but first let's look at the difference between macroeconomics and microeconomics. Microeconomics is a much smaller scale. It's still studying decision making, but it's looking at the decisions of firms, individuals, consumers, producers, how those decisions affect one another, how business decisions are made, when they produce, when they stop producing, when consumers stop consuming, all of those sorts of things. It's a smaller picture. Now when we get to macro, it's the economy-wide phenomena that we're looking at. We're looking at how something like minimum wage changes will impact price levels, or how the monetary base will impact GDP in the long run. These are the things that we're looking at. It's more the big picture kind of stuff. Micro is the smaller, macro is the larger. We start this course out with basic concepts, and that's what we're at right now. Then we'll move on to micro, and later we'll be going into macro concepts. All right, now economists, they play one of two roles, or I guess in some cases both, but as a scientist, they are trying to explain the world. They're describing it using data and past experiences. They also act as policy advisors, and these are the ones that are trying to improve it. They use prescriptive methods, and they say this should be, this could be, we should be doing this. So scientists or policy advisors exist as economists. Not saying one is better than the other, but these are the two roles that they play. All right, now, positive versus normative statements. Positive statements are what the scientists are making. They describe the world as it is. They use data and facts to support their answer. They're talking about the cause and effect. Like when we look back at the Great Depression and we say this happened because of this, these are positive statements being made in a scientific way. Positive statements can be confirmed or refuted. So just because it's a positive statement doesn't mean it's always right. It just means that we can test it and say yes or no, this is true or this is not true. Now, on the other hand, we have normative statements. As policy advisors, economists make a lot of normative statements. They attempt to prescribe how the world should be. Keyword should. They are usually opinions and value judgments. They provide a possible solution. They cannot be tested. So they might say that something should be happening, or that the top 1% of income earners should be taxed at a higher rate. How do we test that? We could say that the top 1%, taxing the top 1% higher will improve economic growth, and test that. There's a factual statement there. It can be proven right or proven wrong. So normative statements are value judgments. They prescribe. They say the way the world should be. They cannot be tested. All right, now take that information and apply it on this quick practice that I've provided for you. You should be able to find this in the description below. And if you want to go over the answers, click on the link and check out the other video going over this worksheet. But to continue on, the last thing we need to cover is equality versus efficiency. Now, equality is distributing economic prosperity uniformly amongst everyone. Now this means that we are trying to make everybody equal in a sense. There are a lot of indicators of people trying to improve equality in a country. And I've given you a list, whether it's for a test or something like that, but these are really good indicators if somebody is trying to push for equality. Higher taxes, that would allow for more redistribution of wealth. Maybe better, use of social programs. But if they have the higher tax base, they can improve all these programs. A progressive tax system promotes equality. Price controls, saying this is going to cost this or this is going to cost this, to help improve access to different products for different groups. It's usually an attempt to improve equality. Social programs, your social welfare, unemployment, or Head Start school programs. These are things to help promote equality, to give access to things that less fortunate people don't always have. A command economy. So this is when the government decides who should be getting what and how the allocation of resources should be taking place. Usually its goals are to improve equality in a country. And then socialism. Not saying these are good or bad things, but they're just instances that try to improve equality. Now, on the other hand, we have the concept of efficiency. Now, from a society standpoint, it means society getting the most it can from its scarce resources. Some things that indicate we are pushing towards efficiency: lower or no taxes. It means that businesses and individuals get to keep hold of their money and they do with it what they want. Nobody else is making decisions for them. Without government interference, no regulations. Not saying regulations are a bad thing, but without them, more can get produced. No minimum wage, no regulations, no price controls, a free market economy. So like I said, this isn't a value judgment on whether or not equality or efficiency is better off. I'm just stating terms that apply to one or the other. All right, that's it for today, guys. Make sure you check out the next video on incentives and economic systems. And I'll see you guys next time.